So in this second video of the course, we want to load the data into our Power BI environment. So first of all, I have to start Power BI. Normally you find an icon like that on your desktop. You can just double click on it and Power BI is started. Um, well, I will start with a blank report. You can see it here. And on your blank report, well, you can import data right now. So you see some very common data sources here, like Excel, I guess, is probably one of the most common data source for Power BI report, or you can import data from an SQL Server database. So there are several options what you can do. Here we have the Get Data button. You can also open this menu and you see a lot of import sources here, like Excel workbooks, like other Power BI data models, or an SQL Server database, or text or and CSV files. Also, you can sometimes you can access web services. For example, if you have your own website and you're analyzing the users that are visiting your site, for example, like with a software like Google Analytics or stuff like that. It's possible that you connect directly to your Google Analytics account, and then you can receive the data, the click data, that is what pages the users visited, or how many users visited your page in a month or in a week or whatever. You can analyze that data by downloading it from your Google account into the Power BI file, and then you can build a report on it. So that is possible as well, and there are a lot of other web services where this is possible. Also, there are a lot of databases you can work with. So SQL Server, of course, is a Microsoft product. That's why we see it here in the first place. But it's also possible to access an Oracle database, or a DB2, or MySQL, or Postgre, or whatever. I think most of the common databases you can access directly. And if you can't access them directly, then it's always possible, if you have an ODBC driver or JDBC driver, that you can then exit it in that way. So that's possible as well. And every month, with every update of Power BI, new connectors to data sources are added to Power BI. So sometimes maybe something you really need is added maybe in a later update or whatever. So right now we will just import an Excel file just to show, well, how it works and how easy it is. I just click here on this import data from Excel button. Then you can select your file. For example, I have a folder, Power BI training, and there I have this file, PBI training data, and I just open this one. So the next step is the so-called navigator. You find the navigator in all data sources where you not only have one table, but more tables. For example, an Excel file could hold, I don't know, a lot of tables in it, or sheets. And in the navigator, you can simply select the sheet you want to import. So in this file, we only have one, so we only see one. If you click on the sheet's name, then, you see a preview. You see what columns you have in that worksheet. And of course, you can also see some data, at least for the, I don't know, first 100 or 200 rows or whatever. You can just check it out here. If you want to import it, just check the box here in the front of the sheet's name, and then you can directly load it. So if there are multiple sheets, you can also import them with one step here. Just check the boxes of the sheets you want to import and then click on load. If you click on load, the data is loaded. We will find this table later on in our Power BI file. And oh, by the way, that's what I see right now. Datenschulung is a German name. Well, we will rename it later on here. Datenschulung means data, training data. So we will translate it later. Anyway, in the file it is in that way right now, but we will import it. And if you know in this place that you have to perform some transformations, then you can go here on that button, and then you can directly, after the data is loaded, you will directly go into the transformation window, and then you can directly transform the data. If you're not sure or you don't want to do it right now, you can just say, I want to load the data. So then it takes, well, depending on how many data it is. In this case, it's pretty fast, only 540 rows, I guess. And right now we have in the data area, we have the Datenschulung thing here. And right now we can directly use it. So I can, maybe I want to create a column diagram right now, then I just click here on the clustered column chart. I just click on it. And now I have this, well, this object, the chart object on my page. And the thing is, if it is selected, I see some areas here where I can just place data fields. So right now, the thing I have to do is I have to drag the fields here in the data section and just drop them here in the areas, well, where I want to have it in my diagram. So we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis, we have a legend, small multiples, and tooltips. For example, if I just take the quantity and put it into the y-axis, then that's all I need, at least, a KPI. And then right now I have one column here, and I see that we have 4,286 items sold. We see it here, 4K, it's a little bit above it, so that works out fine. So what else? Maybe want to do something by, I don't know, by, for example, let's say sales channel. So I can just put it on the x-axis, and then I see that I have sold nearly the same in all three sales channels. So I can remove that again if I want to just click here on the X, and then it's removed. We have the sale date here, and there is something special. We have a date hierarchy, and below the hierarchy we have 4 levels. So I want to have the month in my report, so I just drag the month from here to there. And so we see right now I have a diagram with the months here, and well, with columns for each month. So that's pretty easy to use. So, well, right now, one thing. At the moment, because we don't have it in the Excel file, we don't have the revenue, for example. That is quantity multiplied with the price. So I can see how many items I've sold, but I don't see how many revenue that has generated. So if I want to have it, I have to add a calculation. And that's, for example, one thing you can do when you transform your data. That's one thing what you can do. Or other stuff, for example, if maybe I take the sales channel again, if I put it here, we see right now it's, well, with a capital first letter, and the rest is written not in capital letters. So you can, for example, change stuff like that, make all the letters capital or whatever. You can, one thing, you can, if I take the product group, for example, you see it's alcoholic drinks, beer, soft drinks, lemonade, soft drinks, water. This looks like there are two things in this one field. One is the product group itself, for example, beer, lemonades, water. And the other thing is maybe the, I don't know, product type or product line or main product group, alcoholic drinks or soft drinks. So right now it's in one field, but you can split it into two fields, which makes it more comfortable and more flexible to use in your reports. That's another thing you can do when you transform your data. And yeah, well, that are 2 or 3 examples what we can do later on. So you see, it's possible directly create a report on the data you have just imported. If the data is in a, well, good shape and you can use it directly because you have everything you need and everything is in a way you need it, then it's no problem at all. But if you find out that there are some changes needed or some additions like new columns or KPIs or calculations or stuff like that, well, then you can go from here, you can go to the transform data button here, and then you will go into the Power Query editor where you can do all these transformations. So that's the thing we will deal with in the next video.